broadcasting live from the University of North Texas. This is ntTV Nightly News.
Good evening and welcome to the Great State Fair of Texas. I'm Andrew Fancher.
And I'm Michelle Brooks. What a great night to be at the fair. It was a bit dicey last night and this morning, but the weather couldn't be nicer now.
I totally agree. And you know, the weather, it plays a key factor in how many people show up to the fair and how much fun they actually have. And I think our very own weather anchor, Sydney DeShawn, has an idea on how much fun people will have tonight and if they plan to come to the fair this weekend. Sydney?
Yes, Michelle and Andrew, the weather has definitely been a bit dicey these past couple of days. However, it is a beautiful day right now at the State Texas Fair. As we can see, the sun is shining so bright and there's not even a cloud in sight. We're even sitting at a nice current degree of 83. It does feel a little bit chillier at 80 degrees with wind speeds of 5 miles per hour. Now, looking into tonight's conditions, we can see the temperatures will cool down. It will be 63 degrees and it will feel like 61 with the same wind speeds of 5 miles per hour. Now, looking into the Dallas temperatures for tomorrow, we can see at 10 a.m. it will be around 69 degrees, and at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. it'll be in that 80 degrees range. However, even though it is hot, we are expected to see scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. So make sure to pack your rain boots, to pack that light jacket in case it does shower on you. Make sure to tune back in later for our 7-day forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Sydney. Don't go on those games at the Midway just yet. We'll check back later in with you for the long-range weather forecast. But first, we need to talk about something pretty important to the fair this year.
And that would be COVID-19. I mean, we had a washout last year because of the deadly virus that effectively shut down millions of businesses and events nationwide. And the State Fair of Texas was no exception.
So let's take a look at how fair officials are working to make this a safe event and what you need to know before you head on out to the fair this year. If you are unvaccinated or in need of a second dose, Dallas County Health and Human Services is offering free Pfizer shots for first-time vaccinations and Moderna shots for second doses. Not only do you get free vaccinations, you get $20 worth of state fair food and rides if you get vaxxed at the fair. Face masks are still required while indoors, vaccinated or not. Wearing face masks aren't required outside, but are still recommended in crowded areas. If you forget your mask, there will be a supply of them at the gates. If you're planning on riding the dart to the fair, also keep in mind that face masks are required for not only your safety, but for others. Lastly, if you're not feeling well or have come in contact with someone who's tested positive, please stay home.
And now that we have a good idea of what to expect health-wise, let's talk about why you actually come to the fair, to have a great time. And ntTV's very own Michaela Goose has just the thing, a perfect guide to the State Fair of Texas.
Howdy folks, the State Fair of Texas is back. But how are you going to spend your long day at the fair? I've got your answers.
First things first, coupons. There are multiple locations to get coupons across Fair Park. You need these to buy food or play any of the games on the Midway. And don't worry, coupons do roll over if you come back another time. Now that you have your coupons, let's eat. There are more options this year than ever, including some you've never heard of. Most everything is fried, of course. While you're munching, head over to the shopping center for out-of-the-world finds, or should I say, out of the country. At Global Antiques, you can find handcrafted novelties from across Africa, and down the row is a colorful display of handmade candies and nuts. You can also find everything from steel costumes for your water bottles to coasters of your dog.
Now after you gorge yourself on Fletcher's corn dogs and some fried Oreos, what are you going to do? You're going to head on over to the Midway and play any of the amazing games. My personal favorite and the easiest, Fish the Frogs.
While you're on the Midway, make sure to try your hand at any of the amazing games. Then, take in the beautiful sights of the Ferris wheel from the Texas Skywalk. At night, everything is lit up and gorgeous. And if you have the chance to catch any of the amazing local bands at any of the 5 stages at Fair Park, have a drink and take in the talent.
And there it is the perfect day at the State Fair of Texas. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my third round of fried Oreos of the day, and I hope you all have a howdy day. From ntTV News, I'm Michaela Goose.
Well, I know Michaela, and when she suggests something's a good time, I believe her. Every year, millions of people travel right down here to Fair Park in Dallas to visit the longest running fair in the country. The State Fair of Texas is back, and as most Texans would say, is better than ever. This year marks the 135th year of the fair. So you might be wondering, what keeps people coming back? I had the chance to check out some of the traditions that keep this fair alive.
Now, there is a lot of history behind the fair, but there is also so much history that lives right here in the Hall of State. The museum is home to over 4 centuries of Texas history, heroism, and achievement, and has been on site since 1936.
This year we have this State Fair of the past. In this hall up here we have a lot of stuff about the memorabilia of all the fairs since the 1900s. It was pretty cool stuff.
Now, if you know anything about the fair at all, then you know your first stop needs to be Fletcher's Corny Dogs. Back in 1942, when they got here, they were only 15 cents a piece, but today you can get them for 7 coupons.
Big Tex Circle is where you can find a staple to the fair since 1952, when the first Big Tex was installed. He stood at 52 feet tall and wore size 70 cowboy boots. It was actually here on the last Friday of the fair in 2012, the beloved character burst in flames. So, in true Texan fashion, the fair debuted a bigger and better Big Tex in 2013. The one that stands here today is 55 feet tall and wears a custom pair of size 96 Lucchese boots.
If you're a sports fan, it might be the Cotton Bowl or the OU-Texas rivalry football game bringing you back to the fair. But before the Cotton Bowl stood here, it was a horse race track.
In 1930, when gambling was outlawed in Texas, the park built its first stadium and has been hosting Cotton Bowl games here since 1937.
But if it's the family fun bringing you to the fair this year, you'll have to head on over to Midway, where over 70 rides are featured. New this year are the Moonraker and the Log Flume. But you can't miss a chance to ride on the 36-year-old Texas Star Ferris wheel either. And that's just a small look at the past 135 years. So whether it's the rich history or the new additions, you don't want to miss out on this Texas tradition.
Well, Michelle, that really is quite the history, but I have a few more facts you may be interested in. For example, did you know that the State Fair of Texas is the biggest and longest running fair in the nation, opening for the first time on October 25th, 1886, and averaging over 2 million visitors each year. Back in 1886, the fair took place on only 80 acres of land. Today, the State Fair spans 277 acres, and if you like music, Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, performed here in 1956, and the Dallas Cowboys played at the Cotton Bowl here at the fair up until 1958. But it's not all food and football. We are a National Historic Landmark, given that honor back in 1986. And Fair Park is home to America's largest collection of publicly owned Art Deco buildings. So when you visit the fair, take a look around, because there's a lot more than Big Tex.
Okay, Andy, well, we've shared a lot of information about the fair, but the real fair is about the people who visit.
That's absolutely right. We have our behind-the-scene experts, Nomi Sanchez and Rochelle Cedeno, at the Midway with more. Rochelle, Nomi, what's going on over there?
Hey guys, we've been out here trying to get our hands into some of the prizes until we finally got some. And we've been talking to people here at the State Fair. We've got people coming all over from San Antonio, Austin, even from outside of the state. We've got people from New York, California, even vendors from Atlanta. And know me, there really is a little bit of Texas for everyone.
Yes, especially for all of our kiddos here at the State Fair. There is such a wide variety of games like mini basketball, ring toss, and even bust a balloon. And if you win those games, you can win some cool prizes here at the State Fair.
And yeah, Nomi, I know that kids love them, but if you want to save yourself some money, you can always take them to the Stunt Dog Exhibition. This is a show where all the doggies get to do their stunts and tricks, and kids love it. They're saying it that they love it, and it's for free.
Yes, and for all our couples here at the State Fair, if you want a romantic evening, you can definitely head over to Swan Lake, where you can quite literally ride a big swan into the sunset.
And Nomi, all the couples here have been saying that this is their favorite ride at the State Fair, but we didn't bring the boyfriends today, so I guess it'll have to be you and I getting on some.
You know what, Rochelle? I would love nothing more. You know, me and Rochelle are going to go ahead to Swan Lake, but for now, back to you.
Thanks, ladies. We'll check back in with you later in the show.
And Michelle, you know that for most people, the State Fair means having a great time. But for one Vietnamese man, it encapsulates the American dream in more ways than one. Here's what I mean.
Cotton Bowl Plaza is known for its delicious treats, including its very own Pineapple Man, which may have a deeper story than you think.
It's about 10,000 pineapple per fair.
Ben Tran is the owner and operator of Pineapple Man, a one-of-a-kind food stand 22 years in the making.
Oh my God, when I saw it hit crazy. When we saw it, we cut by hand.
Now a State Fair staple, Ben works the books while his brother works the counter.
I'd like to say that, I'm assistant to the Pineapple Man. Yes, sir, yes.
Ute is the youngest of 13 siblings and face of his brother's company.
It's not easy for Pineapple Man, but it's easy for me, yes.
But what is the Pineapple Man without a 22 coupon barrel-a-rita and the American dream manifested?
We have to escape by boat from communists in Vietnam at that time.
He came to the United States when he was 13 years old. Today, he operates over 3 pineapple stands across the DFW.
I am very proud to be my brother's business, yes, every day. Every time I get a chance to, yes, very proud.
Pineapple Man, living proof that the American dream is alive and well.
This is the place, I think, America.
Andrew, what a great story. I love how the whole family gets involved.
Absolutely. And you know, Michelle, there are so many great stories here at the State Fair of Texas. One of them, high up in the sky. Join us as we take that ride.
Andrew, what goes around and around and around, and if you look out, you can see all of Dallas?
You know, I have a pretty good idea, but let's toss it out to ntTV's Nathan Mayer for the official answer. Nathan?
That's right, you guys, I do have the answer. While most people know it as a Ferris wheel, here in Texas, we know and love it as the Texas Star. ntTV's own Alyssa Weems has the story of our famous star.
If you take a trip down the State Fair's famous Midway, you'll spot a Texas-sized Ferris wheel like no other.
The Ferris wheel, the Texas Star, came to the fair in 1985 and is a permanent installation. It does not move around and stays here year-round.
The Texas Star is manufactured by an Italian-based company in 1985. It's 212 feet tall and used around 600 yards of concrete and 35 tons of steel used for foundation. And if you don't think that's Texas-sized enough for you, it takes about 18 people to operate the ride.
The State Fair Texas, everything is big here in Texas. We wanted to live up to that. When it was built in 1985, it was the largest Ferris wheel in North America.
And big it is. In 1985, the Texas Star cost just $2.2 million. But if the same ride was built today, it would cost around $15 million. But would you believe that the State Fair of Texas doesn't actually own the ride?
The person that built it is a guy named Buster Brown. He ran a carnival and it's still in his family. His daughter, Mary Talley, right now, is the Italian Amusements, Mary and Tom Talley. They run it and take care of it.
So make sure next time you go to the state fair, hop on the Ferris wheel for some fun and experience a little bit of history. For ntTV News, I'm Alyssa Weems.
So I was up in the Texas Star earlier today, and I'll tell you what, that's the best view possible. I saw the entire Dallas skyline, but most importantly, I could see you guys down there at the desk. It's the best 12-minute ride in town. I'm going to ride it one more time, but I'll catch you guys later. Back to you at the desk.
Nathan, I'm glad to see you with your feet back on the ground, but I have to say the view up there must have been amazing.
And now the question is, will that view be as amazing when people come to the State Fair later this week? Sydney Deshawn has the forecast. Sydney?
Now the view from the Ferris wheel may be a little bit iffy this week due to those scattered thunderstorms. So let's take a look at our full weather forecast for the week. So it looks like the temperatures are ranging from the high 70s and the low 80s, with Graham and Denton being at 83 degrees and Harris being at 78 degrees. Now looking across the state, we are seeing warmer temperatures in Houston at 84 degrees, in Shreveport at 85 degrees. However, in Amarillo and Oklahoma City, we are sitting at a nice 77 degrees. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. While today is clear, we are expecting rain on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It should clear up by the weekend, but the temperatures will be chillier with a low of 44 degrees. That is it for our 7-day forecast. And you know what, guys? I think I'm gonna go ahead and get a bite of funnel cake because it looks pretty amazing. So I'm gonna throw it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Sydney. So, Andrew, I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things at the fair is taste testing all the fried food.
You know, you and Christine Guevara are on the same page. Christine, what have you got for us?
Andy and Michelle, you guys are right about the great tasting fair food here, but really, I think it's about the people who make the food who are the real stars. My colleague Jose Alonso met just the perfect person when it comes to the real meaning of state fair food.
Howdy, we're here at the State Fair of Texas where they're celebrating their 135th anniversary. Right now I'm here at Mundo Latino right next to the Women's Museum. Now, we're at the home of Big Tex himself and where several vendors come all around the state to compete in the Big Tex Choice Awards. Now, we've tried so many different foods out here and met so many different unique people. We have foods all the way from barbecue to international foods. Now, I am so excited to get started here and let's go ahead and check it out. Walking through, you will hear mixes between live music and screams. It's home to over 70 vendors. Right next to the Texas Star, I smelled my favorite food and I had to find out where it was coming from. We're here at Lupita's Gorditas at the State Fair of Texas. I am here with Lupita herself, the owner. She is from San Antonio, Texas, and we have a lot of questions for her. So, can you tell me about the origin story of Lupita's Gorditas?
Okay, Lupita's Gorditas, I started back in '72. Long time ago, and we just started with a small stand up in San Antonio for Fiesta. I've been a vendor since '95. I think I'm part of I'm part of the fair. The fair is part of me, and I got to meet so many people. Oh, they know me for the gorditas. That we make them fresh. Everything, the food is fresh, and I have the lady making the gorditas. Of course, Cisco has them frozen, but I don't use them. Oh my God, people love coming by here. And, we're here to serve everybody, so just be patient, because sometimes the lines are long, but just be patient, because you're going to get something good.
Yes, thank you so much, Lupita. After leaving the Midway, the clouds were getting darker, but I knew I had to try the deep-fried I-35. When the rain started coming down, it was time to say goodbye to Big Tex. Hopefully, I'll get to see him again. For ntTV News, I'm Jose Alonso.
Now guys, every year people vote on their favorite fair foods, but I didn't get the chance to cast my vote, so I think I'll be doing my own taste testing right now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Christine. Well, while we all love a trip to the state fair, there is that issue of cost.
In turn, the folks here at the fair have come up with some sweet deals to make your trip easy on the wallet. More on that when we return.
You know, the fair is always a good time, but the cost of that fried food and all those games does tend to add up.
Luckily, there are tons of discount and coupons to alleviate that cost when you make your trip to the State Fair. The biggest way to save is to sign up to be a Big Tex Insider. You'll receive discounts straight to your email, including a promo code every week for $10 tickets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Every Tuesday at the fair is, quote, Thrilling Tuesday, where many of the rides are 50% off. And if rides aren't your thing, you can come in for Thrifty Thursdays and eat your heart's content with discounted food items across the park. There are plenty of other opportunities to save, so head over to BigTex.com for more great deals.
One of the most exciting and creative things I've seen at the fair this year is a new program. It's called the Fiestas de Marionetas.
Right, and it sounds like a fantastic presentation, and I believe ntTV's very own Nomi Sanchez has been pulling some strings and has the story. Nomi?
And a show you cannot miss this year is one that brings to life Latin culture with over 100 puppets called Fiesta de Marionetas.
Located right in the middle of Fair Park, a beautiful combination of art and culture come together to bring audiences at the State Fair of Texas a touch of Latin heritage.
Fiestas de Marionetas, first and foremost, it's a puppet show, and the puppets are string puppets, marionettes, puppets on strings, and they're all handmade. And the show was commissioned by the State Fair for the 2019 year, and that was to feature Latin American heritage, Hispanic heritage.
What makes this show even more special is the variety of characters that are featured within every performance, turning this small stage into a celebration of diversity.
We do have mariachis, we have folklorico dancers, we have dancing flowers, we have piñatas, living piñatas, puppet piñatas, but we also have some celebrities. So we have some celebrity luchadores, we have Selena. I'll go ahead and give that away. She's a pretty big crowd pleaser.
Apart from the many traditional characters featured, a lot of detail goes into making these intricate puppets. From the designing to the painting and even the costume creation, it takes months and many different artists to complete even a single character.
Well, they're special because they are all one of a kind. We make everything ourselves. They're all designed. The set, all the puppets are designed and built by the same artist. It takes months, and it takes several different artists and a variety of materials. We use Texas basswood. We use deep sea fishing line. It breaks all the time. We use oak, we use ash, and we also use rigid latex, like a really hard rubber for their faces, hands, and feet.
So come along, grab a funnel cake or turkey leg and experience a show like no other. Located in this small village at the McDonald's Amphitheater, just down the road from Big Tex.
Wow, Kent, this is truly an amazing piece of art. The puppets are so intricate. It's definitely a show people cannot miss here at the State Fair. But tell me, what is something you want our viewers to know about Fiesta de Marionetas?
Oh, that you can come and see Selena any day of the fair. We have 4 shows a day, beginning at 11 and ending at 5 or 6, depending upon if it's a weekday or a weekend.
Sounds good, guys. You have to come check it out.
What a great show. It should definitely be on all of our to-do lists.
Okay, besides cool State Fair things, these grounds are home to one of the most infamous college rivalries in the country, Texas OU.
Jennifer Holberg is here with that and more. Jennifer?
I have an amazing story about the Cotton Bowl and the State Fair coming up after the break. With the talks of the realignment, the future of this matchup could end up looking a little different. ntTV's Zach Fox takes a look deeper into the rivalry.
It's the rivalry of all rivalries. Game of all games. Two teams always looking for blood. Cotton Bowl Stadium in Dallas, Texas, home to 90 years of hosting the Red River Showdown and the 117th matchup between the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners. Opposing fans shoulder to shoulder with a clash of burnt orange and crimson. The players shoulder pad to shoulder pad entering the field, a perfectly orchestrated stage for a heated gladiator match. For a game so monumental, it can all come down to inches.
It is now official. July 30th, 2021, Oklahoma and Texas will become members of the SEC.
Changes are brewing in the Big 12 and now the SEC as a new era of college football is soon to begin.
For the future, it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be a positive thing for this university, a positive thing for our athletic department.
But the Red River rivalry, played under the overseeing eyes of Big Tex, is here to stay.
Well, I still hope even after both teams going to the SEC that they still play this legendary game every year at the Cotton Bowl. Well, that's all I have for sports tonight, so back to the desk.
I would assume they'd keep the game going, Jennifer, with history that runs as deep as the Red River.
But you know, on behalf of ntTV staff and faculty, we would like to wish our station manager, Phyllis Slocum, a happy belated birthday.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6, back in the ntTV studio.
Good night from the great State Fair of Texas.